Good morning, everyone. The topic of my presentation is coal and petroleum. First of all, what are natural resources? Various material we use in our daily life to fulfill our basic needs are made from natural resources and some are man-made. For example, air, water, soil and minerals, they are all examples of natural resources. Based on the availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds, that is, inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. Inexhaustible natural resources are the resources which are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activity. For example, sunlight and air. Exhaustible natural resources are the resources which are present in a limited quantity and are exhausted by human activity. For example, the fossil fuels, the coal, petroleum, natural gas, they are all example of exhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible natural resources are further of two kinds, that is renewable and non-renewable natural resources. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. For example, forests, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum and natural gas are all examples of exhaustible natural resources. Next is exhaustible natural resources. In this chapter, we learn about some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These were formed from the dead remains of living organisms, so these are known as fossil fuels. First is coal. Coal is as hard as like stone and is black in color, as we can see in the picture given here. What are the uses of coal? Coal is one of the fuel used to cook food. Earlier, it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. Next, where do we get coal and, and how it is formed? About 300 million years ago, the earth had dense forests in low-lying wetland areas. And due to natural processes like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, this slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, so coal is also called a fossil fuel. When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar and coal gas. Next are the types of the coal that we get. First is coke. As we can see in the above picture, coke is a tough, porous and black substance. Coke is the purest form of the carbon. Coke is used in manufacture of steel and in extraction of many metals. Second is coal tar. Coal tar is a black, thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. It is a mixture of about 200 substances. Products formed from coal tar are used as starting material for manufacturing various substances used in everyday life and in industry like synthetic dyes, explosives, perfumes, plastic, paints, photographic materials roofing material, etc. Interestingly, naphthalene bolts used to repel moths and other insects are also obtained from the coal tar. Now, bitumen, a petroleum product, is used in place of coal tar for metalling the roads. Next are the exhaustible natural resource, that is coal gas. Coal gas is obtained during the processing of coal to get coke. It is used as a fuel in many industries situated near the coal processing plants. Coal gas was used for street lighting for the first time in London in 1810 and in New York around 1820. Nowadays, it is used as a source of heat rather than light. Petroleum. Petrol is used as a fuel in light automobiles such as motorcycles, scooters, and cars. Heavy motor vehicles like trucks and tractors, they run on diesel. Petrol and diesel are obtained from a natural resource called petroleum. The word petroleum is derived from petra, which means rock, and oleum, which means oil, as it is mined between the rocks under earth. Now, do you know how petroleum is formed? Here is a diagram which shows the process how petroleum is formed. The oil and gas we see, they are found above the water and they are found in different layers. They do not mix thoroughly. So petroleum was formed from organisms living in the sea. As these organisms died, their bodies settled at the bottom of the sea and got covered with the layers of sand and clay. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas. In the image, we can see the layer containing petroleum oil and gas is above that of water. Why it is so? It is so because the oil and gas are lighter than water and they do not mix with it. Next, the world's first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. 8 years later, in 1867, oil was struck at Maikum in Assam. In India, oil is found in Assam, Mumbai, High, and in river basins of Godavari and Krishna. Next is refining of oil. So, petroleum is a dark, oily liquid with an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. The process of separating the various constituent or fractions of petroleum is known as refining. Because the petroleum contains many constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil and paraffin wax, which needs to be separated. So this process of separation is only known as refining of petroleum. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Many useful substances are obtained from petrol and natural gas, such as petrochemicals, which are useful in manufacturing of detergents, fibers like polyester, nylon, arsenic, etc., polythene, and other man-made plastics. Hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas is used in the production of fertilizers, that is urea. And due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called black gold. Next are the different constituents of petroleum and their uses. The first is petroleum gas in liquid form, that is LPG. The LPG most commonly we use as a fuel for home and industry. Second is petrol. Petrol is used as a motor fuel, aviation fuel, solvent for dry cleaning. Third is kerosene. Kerosene is used as a fuel for stoves, lamps, and for jet aircraft. Fourth is diesel. Diesel is also used as a fuel but for heavy motor vehicles and electric generation. Next is lubricating oil. Lubricating oil is used for lubrication. Sixth, paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is used in ointments, candles, Vaseline, etc. Seventh is bitumen. Bitumen is used in paints and road surfacing. Next natural resource is natural gas. Natural gas is a very important fossil fuel because it is easy to transport through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, that is CNG. We see nowadays there are many vehicles which run on CNG. CNG is used for power generation. It is now being used as a fuel for transport vehicle because it is less polluting. Because of less polluting, it is nowadays used for transporting. It is a cleaner fuel. The great advantage of CNG is that it can be used directly for burning in homes and factories where it can be supplied through pipes. CNG pipe network present in Gujarat, Delhi and other places. Natural gas is also used as a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. India has vast reserves of natural gas. In our country, natural gas has been found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and in Krishna Godavari Delta. Next, some natural resources are limited. So what's the reason how these natural resources are limited? This is all because of our excess use. We use these natural resources excessively, so due to which they are limited in amount. In the beginning of chapter, we learned that natural resources are exhaustible like fossil fuels, forests, mineral, etc. Coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. It requires the dead organism millions of years to get converted into these fuels. On the other hand, the known reserves of these will last only a few hundred years. Also, more use of these fuels is a major cause of air pollution and global warming. It is therefore necessary that we use these fuels only when absolutely necessary. This will result in better environment, smaller risk of global warming and their availability for a longer period of time. In India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, that is PCRA, advises people how to save petrol and diesel while driving. First, drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Second, switch off the engine at traffic light or at a place where you have to wait. Third, ensure correct tire pressure. Fourth, ensure regular maintenance of your vehicle. Next, what we have learnt in the whole chapter, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were formed from the dead remains of living organisms millions of years ago. Fossil fuels are exhaustible resources. Coke, coal tar and coal gas are the products of coal. Petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin wax, lubricating oil are obtained by refining petroleum. Coal and petroleum resources are limited, so we should use them judicially and carefully. If we use them judicially and carefully, we not only save these natural resources, but we also save our environment from pollution and global warming. Thank you.